Yes, the boys, welcome back to another video. So if it is very bright, I apologize. It is actually a very nice day, but it is freezing cold. So if I look very, very pale, even more pale than ever, then I apologize, boys, bear with me. But we're in for Car Talks first thing. I'm gonna talk you through today how you can guarantee yourself to build muscle. Now, this is when we are looking at training. Obviously, getting too fat, being inconsistent with food, all of those things will come into play. That's not what we're going to be talking about in this video. If you do want to see me talk about that in a separate video, then make sure you let me know. But today's video is going to be all about what you are doing in that time in the gym. I say it all the time. We all spend a very similar amount of time in the gym, but that work quality and that intensity, that is where you are actually going to make the most of that time. You could get two guys doing 5 sessions across the week and they're in there for an hour and a half each, and you can have one guy make a lot of progress and you can have one guy make no progress, and that will be, obviously, like I said, it can be from things outside of the gym, but if you're talking just training, that makes a difference. So I'm going to be going through the 3 main parts of mechanical tension, right, which is load, progressing, which I'm going to talk you through how I do that. It's going to be the actual tension on the muscle, which I'm going to talk you through how to do that. And it's going to be ensuring we've got a full range of motion. So if we nail those 3 and we actually have that there, and then we bring a 4th one into it, which is obviously intensity, you are going to be absolutely flying in your gym sessions. And that is what I'm going to talk you through today with legs. So this leg session is a beauty of a leg session. This is going to be a brutal session, so be prepared to watch me struggling, boys, because I'm going to be struggling, but it's a fun one, it's a good one. We're going to get it absolutely nailed. So first thing, like I said, is actually progressing that training. We know in a gaining phase, if that training is not progressing over time in some way, we are not going to grow. We need a progressive stimulus, so our body literally is thinking, hold on a minute, if we keep on doing this, I'm going to need to get bigger, I'm going to need to get stronger. That is the most simplified definition of a progressive stimulus, right? It's something that's getting harder over time. So that's what I mean by an extra rep, more load on the bar, etc, etc, etc. That is what we want to get nailing. So if I am all bright, I apologize, boys, but I wanted to give that intro there in the car. So I am around 20 minutes away from the gym. We're looking forward to a big leg day. So if you feel like your gym sessions at the minute, you're not getting as much out of them as you need to be, make sure you keep on watching this video because it will help a lot. I go through clients form all the time, train with clients. I know the mistakes that people make and you do not need to be making them. So we're leading from the front today, boys. It's been a while since we had some training on the channel, so let me know what you think. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. You are an absolute G if you are subscribed. We are pushing for that 2K mark and we're coming hard for it, boys. So let's get to the gym. Got my pre here. Got some MMA hour on this morning. You know the score, boys. Let's get it. So if you follow me on Instagram, this is me taking a picture of you on Instagram. So if you saw this story, you're an absolute G, mate. Just letting the people know that this video was getting filmed. Full leg session filmed. We'll get warm. We'll start with adductors, boys. Let's get it. Right, boys, so we are starting with adductors. Now, reason we're starting with adductors is, number 1, we can get them absolutely nailed whilst we're fresh. Also, get nice and warm for them bigger movements. I know I'm super tight hips, so this gets everything nice and warm, nice and switched on. So I'm going to take 2 sets now. That's why we've got them in first. So try that if you don't do that already. So I got 80 for 11 last week, which is 2 reps above my top set. So I want to be around that like 7 to 9 range for this top set. So I'm just going to move up to 85 now. So this is a good example of what a set looks like. New weight, we're just getting as many as we can. So that, boys, was 7. So I'll take that all day. That's the bottom of that rep range. And I've got new load again for my back off. So you'll see there, again, with that mechanical tension, right? Standardized form with progressing that training. I've got a pause in that lengthened range, and I've got a pause in the contraction. Something you'll see on all of these isolations now. In terms of keeping form standardized so you can progress, that is a massive, massive, massive key. Have a pause in the lengthened, have a pause in the contraction. Keep that control, be patient. Them reps are going to be the same then every week. Right, boys, we're moving on to seated leg curl. So this is one that gets butchered a lot. Don't load this too heavy and start shoving the weight around, because it'll feel terrible. Again, have a pause in the lengthened, have a pause in the contraction. Remember that mechanical tension. Control and full range play a massive part. So you'll see here, I'm treating this like a bicep curl. I'm not just driving my heels down and that's it. I'm contracting my hamstrings hard, then controlling, getting my breath on the way up, bracing and driving back down. So if your hamstring curls, you're like, oh, I can't progress them. Get form like this, standardize it, and you will progress them, trust me. So 2 sets here, contracting as hard as possible. So this, boys, is actually new load again. First 3 and the second one, to be fair, first 4 sets, I'll have been moving up in load. So I've ran that set up to the top of the rep range. So I'm now going to move up. So good thing about this one, there's like a little bit to load in between each pin. So I've gone from +5 on there to +10 on there now. So you'll see, you keep these tight, you take them all the way there. So just as many as we can here. So when you move in load, see that as a good time to get everything perfect. And then you're pushing forward. So just think, back into this pad, holding this tight, you'll see me lock in. Joints nice and aligned, and then we're working. So you'll see, I use that eccentric to get my breath, right? I know those last reps are gonna be like 3-4 seconds when you go into failure. So use the eccentric, not just to keep control, but to get your breath and then brace and drive. Something I go through with my guys all the time, very important. So one more on here, new load again, and then leg extensions. Right, boys, this is a massive set. So again, we've got a new load. First time with 5 plates on here now. So you'll see, with how I'm loading it, it's just gonna drop off a little bit as I get my quads short. So I'm gonna really contract hard before I come into every single eccentric. So with your extensions, don't come into that eccentric until you've locked in and contracted. That's the same with any isolation, to be honest. So you'll want to use the straps. When it gets this heavy, I've got to keep myself locked in. So that's why I'm using these for this. So we're just going to take this as far as I possibly can, boys. That intensity, even though this is an isolation, has to be there the same. So 8 reps, boys. We will take that all day. Oh. So that's isolations done. Reason I start with isolations, like you'll see now, I'm about to do over 4 plates on this pendulum, which for this pendulum is heavy. So you're not going to be weak just from doing that. My ability to get my adductors short, my hamstring short, my quad short, they're going to be greatest at the start there, where I can do that. So I've just rinsed 6 sets of those. And yes, they're painful, but they're not as taxing as this in the leg press. So I can go into these now. I don't need to spend quite as long on my warm-ups because my legs are full of blood, my hips are warm, my knees are warm. So I can just get ready and go and work. And as you'll see now, it's not light. So we've got 4 plates and 5 kilos on here. I got 7 last week. So this is a good example of having 7 to beat with standardized form and trying to beat that. So you'll see, I'm trying to keep every single rep the same, boys. In the first half of that eccentric, I'm getting my breath. That second half, I'm bracing, I'm driving through. I'm gonna repeat that. If I just brace at the top on here with the control I want, I'm probably gonna run out of my breath before my quads are done. So, something I go with clients all the time. On the leg press, on the pendulum, on the hack, that first half, keep the control, get your breath, brace and drive through, and you'll be able to take it a lot further. So you'll see now, you load it on different sides here, so I've got 2 on each side and a 2.5 kilo, so 4 and a 5 kilo in total. So 7 to beat, boys. I'm gonna get warm and then I'll show you me working. Let's get it. No messing here, boys. 7 to beat. Let's work. Heavy, boys, Jesus. Right, boys, so moving on to the leg press. So something I'll go through with clients all the time is struggling to get as much knee flexion as possible. Now, first thing you need to do is slow down, right? The goal of this is to keep this all through my quads and nothing else. So slow down, otherwise it's too much load. It's obviously just going to drop down and I'll feel it on my hips and feel it on my knees, right? So slow down. You're then going to be able to get nice and low. You're going to be able to get your breath and actually take your quads to failure, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, don't try and just keep your feet straight. If you can get an extra inch of knee flexion with your toes slightly out and that opens up your hips, do that. That's fine. If you can get perfectly low with nice straight feet, you do that as well. I have my toes slightly out and I get as much knee flexion as I can. Make sure that bum stays to that pad. If the bum lifts off the seat, that load's going to be going through your lower back. So if you're getting some hip problems, some lower back pain, that's probably why. So you'll see now, I'm getting my breath in the first half of the movement, bracing, driving through and repeating that. So I got 3 plates for 10 last week. I'm going to do 3 plates and a 5 each side now. Reason I love this, you don't need so much load. Like I was loading 9.5 plates on this Cybex leg press here and it was just taking me so long. So moving on here and this feels absolutely fantastic. So if you've got this leg press, I've got a couple of clients who have it as well. Give it a try, it's absolutely fantastic. So let's work and then we've got calves. Again, full range is part of that mechanical tension, right? So it's no good loading that up, that's only 1/3 of that. If we've not got control and we've not got full range, we're missing out on 2 of those, right? So make sure we've got all 3. Then add intensity to that, and that's when you get your perfect sets. That's when you grow. That's the whole point of this. 9 reps. Onto calves. First of all, if you want my help with it, link is always in the description, boys. And quickly, Bulletproof 90 Days goes live on the 1st of January. You can get started in December. Get that absolutely drilled. That is what I set up for my clients those sessions and go through form. So we know form is standardized. Sessions are bang on for the gym that they are in. So if they progress that in a diet phase, we might even be able to grow a little bit if we're a little bit newer to training. We'll definitely be holding on to that tissue. In a gaining phase, we're gonna be growing, right? So the same focus is there for all of my clients. Doesn't matter what phase they're in. Obviously the boys who are at the absolute end of those diet phases, yes, of course, then, you know, we can't expect them same progressions. You should always be aiming to progress. I move into the house tomorrow, boys. So new house tomorrow, so plenty of vids coming out of there. So let me know what you want to see. Full day of eating will probably be the first one. I'll probably run through a full day on the Monday, to be fair, of my first day working in the new house, in the office, eating. So I'm looking forward to it, boys. So let me know what you want to see. Big finish to the year incoming. We're coming for that 2,000 subscribers. So anyone who's liked the video, commented, I appreciate it, boys. Honestly, like I never thought I'd even have a YouTube channel. Never mind one that people actually are enjoying watching. Like sometimes I get just a nice random message that people are enjoying the videos, and I do really appreciate that. Like I always thought when I was younger, like if anybody, I said this a few times on here, if anybody's watching my videos before they train, like that's what I do. Like I watch YouTube. Well, not anymore because I'm working until I leave, but on the weekend or when I've got time, I put YouTube on before I train. So if you tag me in your vid and you're watching that before you train or after you train when you're chilling, you are an absolute G. I appreciate that literally so much. So we're coming for that 2K, boys. You're here for the ride. Then we'll push to 5, then we'll push to 10. But vid's coming, boys. I'm blabbering on. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video, comment, you're an absolute G, and I will see you in the next one.